I just broke my tripod. Been walking around the house for 5 minutes to try to find a good place to film this, but it doesn't matter. That's not what it's about. It's about the content, and I'm super excited to share this with you today. So, you know the feeling before public speaking when your heart is like racing and your arms are feeling kind of like tingly and you feel a little bit sick to your stomach? I know lots of people who frequent the bathroom before and then you feel like you have to pee, but you're not sure if you actually have to pee. Well, next time you're feeling like that, tell yourself that you're excited. And this is just not my opinion. There have been studies, like even the Harvard Business School has done studies about how telling yourself you're excited can not only make you feel better when you're feeling nervous, but it can actually increase your performance. And they study that in math and singing and public speaking. And in math, people had a 20% improvement, and there was similar improvement in public speaking persuasiveness and how people scored other people on singing. So the feeling, like the physical feelings of feeling anxious are like exactly the same as feeling excited. So next time you're feeling that way, tell yourself you're excited, keep telling yourself you're excited, and then go do your thing and it will feel a little less painful. And it's so much easier to do that than try to trick your body and say that you're not nervous and that try to be calm, because calm is so different than nervous. Your body's like, I don't think you're calm, I think you're more nervous. So instead of saying that you're nervous, next time say you're excited. I've been using this for a while now. It super works, and Harvard Business School will back me up. I wanted to give you some other tips about confidence. So another thing that you can do, and this again has been studied in so many studies, if you're feeling unconfident or just feeling down, is smile. And you can fake smile and it still has those benefits. It will increase your serotonin and increase your dopamine, making you feel better. And studies have shown it actually decreases your heart rate and decreases your blood pressure. And then there's also the benefit of smiling and having people respond to you when you're smiling instead of having a grumpy face and then having those responses. So I'm super confident. I think because I've been working on it for a long time and I've been telling myself that I'm confident, which is part of it. So I really want to share this with other people. I have so many awesome female, male, whatever. I have so many awesome friends and an awesome daughter, and her and her bestie made a YouTube video, so she probably explains confidence way cuter than I do if you want to watch that. But I was trying to define confidence for myself today. And for me, confidence is not just being comfortable in your uniqueness, but being proud of your uniqueness. So not just being comfortable in how you're different, but being proud in how you're different. And those can be whatever strengths or like perceived weaknesses, but just being like confident and comfortable in where you are. So some other tips that I wanted to share. Another practical tip that you can do, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but there's the power stance. So power stance is not hunched over and feeling small, but actually like standing up and taking up room wherever you are and standing like that for at least a minute. And this again has been studied. It changes your hormones. It makes you not only feel more confident, but you will act more confident. People who did this were more likely to take risks, and then you're also perceived as more confident. And this is getting like so widespread that when I was doing my OSCE exams for becoming a nurse practitioner, outside of the rooms, so many students were standing there just feeling big and, well, maybe feeling nervous, but standing there looking big and proud and using the power stance. I know there's an awesome TED Talk on it somewhere if you want more information about it, but it's an easy hack that you can try. Another thing about confidence that I've been realizing in the last year is where you put your confidence matters. So if you're putting your confidence in outcomes, sometimes you can't control that, and then your confidence might feel a little bit more like fragile. Instead, try to put your confidence in like the process. So I'm a nurse practitioner. If I put my confidence in the outcomes, I would be shaken when people die and when people get unexpectedly sick and things like that. And that's actually like the natural progression of life. So if I let that shake my confidence, that would not feel very good. But instead, I can be confident that I know that I do my best to take care of my patients. So if you're putting your confidence in efforts, that's so much like more rooted than putting your confidence in outcomes. And I think that's an important lesson to teach kids too. Of course, like it's fun when they win sports games and stuff like that, but instead of just celebrating like the games or the goals, you can celebrate the effort that they made, because that's actually something they can control. They can control how good the other goalie is or how good the other team is or really like the outcome, but they can control their effort. And the same for us. If we want to have like deep-rooted confidence, it needs to be in the processes and not the outcomes. I think another practical tip for building your confidence is accepting compliments. When someone gives you a compliment, they want to make you feel good. And instead of deflecting it, try saying thank you. I know for me, this felt a little bit uncomfortable and still can sometimes, but try to say thank you and let it sink in. We're really good at remembering when people have like critiques of us and we seem to forget the compliments. So try to let the compliments sink in and build your confidence. Building off of having confidence in the process and not necessarily the outcome is being comfortable not knowing certain things. I did another video on that, but it's okay to not know something. Initially, we all didn't know everything. So sometimes there's other people that it might be like further along in the learning and knowing process than you are, but it's okay if you don't know everything. And I like to say like, I don't know that yet, or like, I can't do that yet. My daughter too, if she says like, I'm not very good at blank, I always say like yet, because if she wants to be, she can probably improve her skills in whatever it is. This is another area that I'm seeing sort of fragile confidence, is if your confidence is in your looks, because those are going to change. If they haven't changed already from middle school to high school to now, your looks are going to change. And one way I try to like put this into perspective is the people that I love and admire so much in my life, the things I love about them and the reasons I admire them have so little to do with their looks, how much they weigh at certain times, the wrinkles on their face, how many gray hairs are on their head, anything like that. It's so much deeper than that. So I kind of think if we actually all think about it, we don't want to be like remembered because we like looked a certain way. We want to be remembered for like being kind or generous and helping others and things like that. So if you're feeling unconfident in your looks, try to take a second, put it into perspective. And I will have a side note that I have an awesome partner who's always built me up. So it's important to find a partner who will build you up, and teach your kids how to build up others too, because it doesn't feel good if someone tries to knock you down. But if you can learn some skills, like my daughter said, just you can tell people to like kick rocks and just be yourself. So if you can learn some skills for deflecting maybe negative compliments and realize that it's not all about what you look like, I think that will help. So confidence also takes practice, and you can't just like sit at home and not do anything and not try anything new and build on your confidence. Maybe you can maintain the level that you have, but you need to try new things. I did another video about trying new things, and one thing about trying new things is you put yourself out there, you realize generally the worst case scenario isn't so bad, and even if the worst case scenario happens, you can survive it, and usually you've like learned a new skill or something. And so go out there and practice being confident. I'm not sure if you've heard this before, but people are pretty consistent about their identity. So if you've been telling yourself for years that you're shy, then you're going to act shy because that's consistent with your identity. Like we all do it. And honestly, for years, I've just been saying that I'm confident, and I've been saying that I love public speaking. I know initially at some point I didn't love public speaking, but like saying you're confident and saying you love trying new things and taking risks and meeting new people, you can start to convince yourself and then you'll act in that way. But if you just say that you're shy and say that you're not confident, you're sort of going to be stuck in like a self-fulfilling circle. So try to tell yourself something different. So there's this study, I wish I could find it, but it was talking about likability. And a whole bunch of people met each other and then they sort of graded each other on how likable the other person was. And then the interesting part is they graded themselves on how likable and interesting they thought that the other person would grade them, if that makes sense. So everyone thought that they came across less likable and less interesting than they were actually graded. So for some reason we think people don't enjoy us, and maybe some don't, but generally most people enjoy each other. This might be a little bit cheesy, and maybe it's more appropriate to tell my 6-year-old daughter than it is to share with other adults, but you are like perfectly you. You're not going to be like anybody else, even if you try to be like anybody else. And I truly believe that we were made perfect, like perfectly unique. Like, I can't say certain words. I definitely can't spell most words. Like, that's just one of my like isms that makes me me. And I don't know, with age, like I've just become more and more confident that I'm not like anybody else, and neither are you. And I don't think we were made to be similar, even though lots of times people like try. We were made to be different. You're perfectly you. The world needs one of you, and there's no reason to hide it. I feel like a sense of like, I don't know if it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders, or I just feel like more like authentic or honest when I share like some of my weaknesses. Like, I really can't spell. I'm not making that up. But it hasn't held me back. And again, this goes back to my not knowing video. If you don't know something or you're not good at something, if you're just honest about that, then you can pair up with somebody who is good at that, and it usually all works out in the end. So if it's not too cheesy to say, you're perfectly you. And if you want to practice a power stance, I kind of like this one, or like this one. Sometimes you're in environments where you have to like make it a little less awkward. But just be big. Hold your head high. Feel your mood shift, and you'll actually perform better.